1% Fort St. John. Finally glad to say that we've got Brett Kissel on the phone joining us to chat about his Showtime tour and concert coming to Dawson Creek on June 11th. Brett, how you doing, my friend?
Oh, really good, buddy. And how are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. I'm so grateful you tried so hard to get through whatever the weird technical glitches we were having. Whatever, it doesn't matter. We're talking now, and we're talking about this big show happening in Dawson Creek. But first, we have to talk about this. I mean, this is going to be your first tour in a couple years at least. You've played concerts here and there, kind of in the in-between time, if we want to call it that, but this will be your first time like on the road in a while. How excited are you for that?
You know what? I don't even think that I can contain my excitement. That's the thing. Everybody that I speak to, every conversation that I have as it pertains to this tour, I mean, it's just a whole new level of anticipation and excitement to finally get back out on the road and to finally get a chance to do what I love more than anything in the world, and that's getting out on the stage and performing my heart out. And you know what? And we specifically selected Dawson Creek as one of the prime markets, the prime cities that we want to come to because we've had so many great memories in the northern part of British Columbia, and it's been a long time since I've been back to Dawson. And as we were talking off the air, this is my first time coming back as a headliner.
Yeah. Oh, and you're bringing Jade Eagleson with you. It's going to be an incredible show. And I honestly, it surprised me that it's your first time as a headliner. So it's been a long time. We're very excited to be having you back. I have to ask you though, I mean, you're going back out on the road now. You've had 2 years where you've had one-offs, you know, maybe a little time away from your family, kind of here or there. What's been their reaction? You know, you've kind of had a lot of time to spend with your family now. Is there a little part of you that's like, well, I'm going to miss that now that I'm going to be heading on a tour for a couple months here in the spring and summer?
Well, in a lot of ways, you're right, and that's a great question because, you know what, after the last 2 years, my entire life obviously changed, as it changed for so many people across Canada and around the world. So for us, in a big way, we've created this wonderful family dynamic with me being around and me being available and being the best dad that I can possibly be, especially now that my wife and I, we just welcomed our fourth baby into the household. So we've got another son, we've got 2 daughters and 2 sons and 4 little kids now in this busy household. So, you know, my wife and I have had a lot of great conversations about what is this going to be like now that I'm going back out on the road, especially because my daughters grew up on the road. You know, my 2 older ones, they learned to walk on the bus. They lived on the bus. They loved life on tour. So there's going to be a lot of shows that my kids will come to.
Awesome.
That way we get the opportunity to be together in the best way possible. But then there's going to be some shows where, you know what, it just doesn't make sense. We've got kids in school now. We've got a beautiful farm that we need to take care of. We've got cattle to chase, and we've got, you know, chickens to feed. And like, it's a real, you know, great little life here. So my wife and I, it's just going to be communication. It comes down to communication and what's best for our kids. So maybe, just maybe, Dawson Creek is going to be the show that the whole family is going to come up to and celebrate and be a part of a great night.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Awesome. I have to also ask you this. Did you find the past 2 years where then you were at home more often than you're used to? You're not gigging as much. Did you find it creatively good for you? Were you able to write songs? Did you find you had more time to, or was it just you were focusing on your family and kind of getting through things and just waiting to get back on the road?
You know, it was something where the first year of shutdown, the creative juices simply weren't flowing, and I thought that they would. You know, my management says, look, you got all this time, and they set up, you know, my Google Calendar was full of, I bet you I had 50 song writes that I was going to do on Zoom with people in Nashville and, and everybody around the world. And I wound up canceling them all because I just wasn't in the headspace to write, you know, all of these songs and create in that way, which was a very interesting, you know, development and an opportunity for self-reflection. But you know what? Then I kind of got back in the saddle. Then I kind of had the dark cloud removed and did get to play a couple of shows and did get to, you know, sort out my stuff and then figure out, okay, if I'm going to write, it's going to be with people that I love. If I'm going to songwrite, it's going to be with, you know, creative people that I'm really close to. And then we were able to get through this together and then come up with the album that I called What Is Life, which is now nominated for the Juno for Country Album of the Year. So I'm really grateful that I didn't just I think, spend all that time and energy chasing something.
Yeah.
And I think it was a lot more deliberate in my thought process.
Awesome. All right. Well, this is going to be a wonderful show. I did want to play this game with you, though, because our contest to kind of give away some tickets for your show at the Ovintiv Event Center on June 11th was to ask people to finish the lyrics. So we play the start of one of your songs. They have to finish kind of the rest of the line of that song. Now, obviously, your hits, I think you wouldn't have a problem with. So I dug in your back catalog a bit to see how you would do with an older song here, and we'll see if you can finish these lyrics. You're cool to play this, Brett?
Yeah, I love games. This is very important for you, Doug. Okay. Keep your spirits high, but your expectations very low for me, okay?
All right. This is an older song from you, I think from one of your first albums. Let's hear the clip, and then you got to finish the lyrics at the end of it. Here we go. I've got country in my blood. Oops, you know what? I played the wrong part of that, so that's a failure on my part.
Well, that's easy. I remember that song perfectly. Don't you worry. That's country in my blood. You just teed me up. That was an empty net goal for me. Thank you.
Oh, I was so excited to play with you. Well, there you go. All right, Brett. Well, you're coming June 11th to the Ovintiv Event Center with your Showtime tour. You're bringing Jade Eagleson along for the ride. We really appreciate you taking some time to chat with us about this concert, and I'm looking forward to meeting you when you come here, eh?
Yeah, you betcha, buddy. I can't wait to spend some time with you, and especially all your listeners, all the great country music fans in that part of the world. Tickets go on sale on Friday.
Yep.
So this is a show you do not want to miss. And we are going to make up for lost time. That I can promise you.
Absolutely. All right, Brett, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
You betcha, buddy. Have a good one.
Consign your equipment, vehicles,